All right, all right, all right, all right. So, everyone in the class, I guess I am live and audible, visible to you. Are you all there? Everyone, very good morning. Very good morning. Welcome to this session. We were discussing the chapter of equity and business valuation where we solved some practical questions on dividend valuation model. Yes. So, who all do we have in the live class today? You must be wondering, sir, where are you sitting? Because we can see the sunlight on you. Are you sitting on your terrace and then teaching? Well, possibly. You'll tell me, like, how are winters at your places? Is it really cold out there at your places, or not much? How are winters at your places? So, for example, I'm in Indore, and out here we have to use the woolen wears at least 2 to 3 months. Similarly, 2 months, not 3 months, if not 3 months. When I was in Mumbai, I did not use even once during the year. Harshada, it's there in the morning. Okay, Priyanka says except morning, it's not there. So we have to wear it for the entire day. So in total, we end up wearing 3 layers at night. I mean, from evening to night, I mean to say. Yes, so great. Shall we all very quickly have a quiz time? What do you say? Quick quiz time. Yes. So let's get started. Everyone, let's have a quick quiz time. Others are not joining yet. What is the status? I'll have to talk to each one of them personally, it seems. Because people don't realize I mean a better deal. Some people take a life badge because they want to be consistent and they want to be really communicative throughout the sessions. It helps them having a better interaction. Cool. Some people are so disciplined that despite taking recording, they are disciplined throughout the disciplined throughout. They end up watching one lecture at least every day. Yes? Whether you attend live or you opt for a GD mode, recorded people, it is a must thing that you watch one lecture every day at any cost. You have no idea for any study, for CA final, for CFA, for any level of study. Sir, consistency is going to help you out not just today to complete the classes, but even in the exams. I mean, you have to understand these are two different things. One is having a higher level of intellect. That is a matter of skill. That, okay, you should be skilled enough to be able to crack complex problems and everything. That is a matter of skill. But discipline and consistency, that is not a matter of skill. That is a matter of determination. That is a matter of a choice that everyone can have. Are you people understanding? So if you are lacking in terms of your skill, thinking capabilities, memorization, retention, that is all understood. That is something God might not have given to me or you. But if we are lacking in the discipline, consistency, determination, then it's particularly our lacking which does not require any skill. I hope you people realize what I'm trying to tell you. Yes? Priyanka? Yes, I understand you had exam. Now is it all set? Shruti is here. Harshita is here. Great. Perfect. So let's get ready for the quiz. People in the class, my first question to you all is, there are two securities, security A, security B. We are trying to value the company. For valuing them, we need the discounting rate, which is KE. My question to you is, will the market risk premium for these two security will be different? To calculate the discounting rate of these two security, will the market risk premium be different? What do you say? Quick. Will the market risk premium be different? Come on, come on, come on. All of you need to answer this question. Think of it, answer it. I'm waiting for y'all. Please. Is the question clear? There are two securities to be valued for which we need to calculate the discounting rate. To calculate in calculation of discounting rate, there's something called market risk premium which is used. My question is, will the two securities have different market risk premium, or can the two securities have different market risk premium, or they are always the same? Come on, quick. Please try to think on this. I mean, the concept itself is there. Some people think it's different, some people think it's same, and I now feel good, which means it seemed to be a good question in the sense that it will add up to your knowledge. So everyone in the class, please look at this. Just give me a minute. I need to share this link even on the Telegram channel so that those who want to join can join. One second now. Perfect. Archana, good morning. Yes. So, sir, we were talking about the discounting rate, which is RM minus RF. Please understand, RM means return of market. That does not belong to any security, that is the return of market. RF is the risk-free rate. That does not belong to any security, a particular share. It is the rate of market. So RM is the rate of market which prevails in the market. RF is the risk-free rate which also prevails in the market and has nothing to do with any security. This is the part common for all the security. Then in this entire equation, which is that part which will change for different securities, is its beta. Different security will have different beta, means different risk. And depending upon the risk which is there in a security, the required rate of return gets decided, and that's how KE gets calculated. Is that question, please, everyone, clear? Please tell me. In your understanding, generally, which of the two will be a lower number? Earnings yield or dividend yield? In your understanding, generally, which of the two will be a lower number? Earnings yield or dividend yield? Come on. Easy one, easy one, easy one. Quickly. Last one more question will come to you, and then we'll wrap up, revise the things of yesterday, and quickly go to the practical questions ahead. Super fast. Chavi, could I answer your question? I mean, you've put a question mark to it. Yes, people. My question to you was, which of the two yields is generally lower? One is dividend yield, another is earnings yield. These are the questions which will check or validate if you know the formula of all of them or not. Question is, come on, super fast. Which of the two yields is lower, dividend yield or earnings yield? Sir, it's quite a common sense that the formula for dividend yield is DPS divided by MPS. The formula of earnings yield is EPS divided by MPS. The denominator is same, which is why I've made a question of comparing both the things, right? Generally saying dividend is distributed as a part of the earnings. So EPS generally is a bigger number, DPS generally is a smaller number, making the dividend yield overall to be obviously lower than the earnings yield. Yes, my next question. Which of the two number, generally saying which of the two number is the bigger number? One is ROE, another is earnings yield. Come on. Which of the two numbers? Not that, see. You have to first get this clarity. When I ask you this question, yes, when I ask you this question, I am not preparing you for exam MCQ. CA Final Institute does not ask analytical MCQ. They rather make a practical question and then ask MCQ based on the trend so far. Perfect. But at this point, I want to evolve you in general, right? Evolve your ability to think by asking these questions. So come on, people in the class, super quick. Which of the two numbers is generally bigger? Super fast. Please respond to it. Venku says, because of your conceptual clarity, you could manage the AFM paper yesterday. Venku, I'm really happy to hear that. Guys, do you know what happened yesterday? The AFM paper was really out of the box. Unexpected new questions and everything. I've put up a video on YouTube if you want to watch. Although that is in English language, frankly. So, Venku, when you say it, that's really great. I wish you make it in this exam with great marks. So Archana and Harshita thinks recorded people, what do you think? They think ROE is a bigger number. Sir, why are the two numbers comparable? Because numerator of both the companies is EPS. Here denominator is MPS, here denominator is book value per share. Sir, generally when we observe the market, we realize book value per share is a lower number and market price per share is a higher number. This is something which you may not know as a student because you have not seen practical world, but now I'm adding it to your knowledge. Generally, you will observe that book value per share is a lower number and the price at which the share trades is a higher number. Because of which, since denominator is lower here, the ratio is higher here, and that is how this ratio is overall a bigger ratio. People, are we all set? Yes. Do you people really like these 5 minutes of having quizzes or not really? What do you say? Quick, do you people really like that? Not much. If you don't respond, I will automatically understand no. However, if you say yes, then I will understand yes and we will continue it. What do you all say? Come on, live people. You like it? Which means we shall continue in this manner. Memory refreshing it is. My last question. People, suppose there is a share which the dividend was rupee 10. At year 0, dividend was rupee 10. For first year, the dividend is expected to grow by 15%. For future years, the dividend is expected to grow by 10% till infinity. My question to you all is, can I apply Gordon's model in this situation? Is my Gordon's model applicable in this situation? Yes or no? Come on. The Gordon's model is a situation where we assume that the growth rate till infinity is constant. In our case, the growth rate is changing. What do you think? Is the Gordon's model applicable? Yes or no? Come on. This is the question. I mean, gradually we'll add the level of the question. Initially, I ask you easy question. With 2 or 3 lectures, you'll start to find more analytical question that CF Institute generally ask. Come on. Archana thinks we can apply. Shruti thinks we can apply. Other live people, come on, try to answer it. Recorded people, do you agree we can apply? Yes, we can. Because Gordon's models say the growth rate from year 1 to year infinity has to be constant. The growth rate of 0 to 1 does not matter to me. My first year dividend is a number. After, like from dividend 1 to dividend infinity, the growth has to be constant, which is there, which is why we can say that Gordon's model can be applied on this situation as well. Perfect. If I talk about the practical question, what were we doing? Hold on for a second. You want to see a quick analysis of how was yesterday's paper? People, a quick analysis. You want to see it? So overall, if you talk about the questions which you have seen, were seen in the outscanner or any institute's material, because outscanner has a compilation of everything which institute has released so far. So if you have look at the seen question, in the seen question, out of a paper of total 118 marks, seen questions were 80 and new questions were 38. Sir, how come 18 marks, 118 marks? So 30 marks of MCQ. Then 5 questions of 14 marks each, giving you 70. Right, sorry, 6 marks of 6 question of 14 marks each, giving you 84. But in the last question, which is 6th question, 6th question C part has 2 theory question of 4 marks each. You have to do one of it. So counting both of them, the total give you 84 plus 4 plus 30 as 118. So that was the total of 118. If you look at the total of 118, seen questions were 80, new questions were 38. This is the percentage for which institute has asked a new question. Now this particular fact does not make the paper difficult. What makes the paper difficult is, even if there are certain questions were seen, right? Some questions were there which we consider to be of high difficulty, extreme difficulty. New question when institute ask, generally in any other attempt, they don't ask the questions which are really difficult. They ask average level of new question, but unfortunately it happened that it did ask a new question, right? The purpose of telling you is that not every paper will be like this, not every attempt. When you watch lecture, when you're in your articleship, there would be some people who would meet you and tell you, in AFM, there is nothing other than a study material you need to do. I want to particularly tell you, you don't have to trust anyone except me or any other faculty. In fact, I'm not even confident on all the faculties in the market. Some faculties I really appreciate. Some faculties, they are themselves not comprehensive enough to guide the students to be comprehensive. A student in whose attempt the paper was really from the study material, he clears it up by studying the study material. Ultimately, you know what will he end up guiding to everyone? That papers ultimately come up from the study material. You do it, you will secure exemption because he did. But he come to you with an experience of 1 attempt, I come to you with an experience of say 15 attempts, for example, right? Or say 15 papers of at least 10 attempts. 5 attempts, 10 attempts. So that is what I want to tell you, that sir, 1 in every 3 to 4 attempt will be an attempt, or now over the time 2 out of every 4 to 5 attempts will be an attempt where institute will end up asking new out of the box question. So the approach that we follow in the class is such that you are capable of solving new question. And you know when would you be able to do it? When you have ability to think. When you look at the question, you are able to figure out which concept is applicable. You are able to figure out which formula to apply. You are able to identify the inputs of that formula in the question. That is the approach with which if we study right from the beginning, then you'll be able to make it. Do you see someone just made a comment, right? Sir, because of your conceptual clarity, he could manage the paper. I appreciate he didn't say I could score well, because paper when is really tough now. Your objective changes to just manage it, forget scoring it. But you are able to manage only when your concept's ability to think, thought process is clear. Are you people aligned to what I'm saying? Everyone. And if you agree to what I'm saying, you will have to put up a like on this video, because that is the approach with which you will follow, you will learn, irrespective you want to do it or not. I will teach you in that manner only. Just want to give that confidence to you that you are at a right place. As we gradually proceed ahead, you will understand the importance of conceptual clarity. The example of conceptual clarity is what we have discussed here. The example of conceptual clarity, I can see. I would not appreciate the derivation that I've given to you. That makes you brilliant, but that is not the conceptual clarity, boss. This is the conceptual clarity that we discussed. This is the conceptual clarity. The clarity that this formula is not the growth of the dividends, but the growth of the earning. This is conceptual clarity. The fact that when the payout ratio changes, your dividend growth and the earnings growth is not the same. This is the conceptual clarity I talk about. So if you study with this depth, you become capable of solving even the new questions. So let me tell you what ultimately turned out to be the discomfort in the exam. Seen question easy, manageable, most basic thing. But CA final curriculum is so vast that the expectation of the student, unlike other exams like CFA or IIT, where they are, very much comfortable with newer question, they have a mindset that they will end up facing new question. Unlike those exams, CA exam has generally trend of, repetitive question. So in a particular attempt, we end up facing a new question, we start to call it difficult, right? So 52 marks easy question doable, but average and difficult questions of around 28 marks. Plus this question of 38 marks give you the overall discomfort zone of 66 marks. As I said in the YouTube video yesterday, this you find it difficult is okay. In fact, new average question you find difficult is okay. But what you have to primarily be comfortable on, you know what? Even if a question is new, but it is easy, you should be capable of doing. A seen average question also you should be capable of doing. So 16 plus 10 is equal to 26 marks. Over and above 52 easy marks, you should be capable of doing. Overall, I can say 52 plus 16 plus 10 is equal to 78 marks is the paper which you have found to be, which you could find to be manageable. Are you people please getting me? What do you all say? And you know what is the point, the important point of guidance? Don't feel that 52 marks is easy, which means I can secure 52 out of 52. No. Imagine that this 52 marks come for 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 question. And in every part, there will be some portion that you don't know. Basically, first question has 3 parts, right? A, B, C. C you don't know, A, B you know. So when it is 52, right, it is a possibility that even if you know a particular question, but you have to skip that an option. Perfect. And other questions that you do has one particular question which you do not know. So maybe you'll end up doing only 46 in that. So overall level was difficult. Point is, we have to become capable of learning things. Then as you grow further, you will realize some people give you ABC analysis. They will ask you to skip some chapters. But the point is how focused you are, or maybe how loyal you are to the lectures, to the content, to the faculty with which you have learned the things. We discuss the things with clarity. Tomorrow you meet someone who will guide you that solve these questions, you are all sorted. Solve the study material, you are all sorted. Solve this RTP, MTP, you are all sorted. Revise, mug up the formula, all sorted. Follow this ABC analysis, you are all sorted. Skip these chapters. But none of these things are going to work, boss. If it turns out to be an easy paper, it will work. But that risk if you take, then you have no rights to be called as the student of this batch. Because in this batch, we make sure that we don't take a risky call. We right from day one prepare ourselves for any kind of paper that we may face in the exam. Right? Day before yesterday, when I made a video of exam day, I told them, we try to score 80 plus in the exam. But we there be ready with the mindset that if institute wants, it can make an exam paper. It can make an exam paper that it become really hard to even score 50, and that is what happened. But I told them, even in that paper you are going to relatively rock, where another student is struggling to score 40 plus, you will end up scoring at least 50 plus to exemption. That is the level with which we have studied the things in the class. That is the level with you will have to do your revision at home. Yes, so observe all chapters, almost all the chapters covered by institute, nothing left, right? We are particularly doing right now this particular chapter, security valuation and business valuation. Although you can remove 6 marks from this because it relates to the chapter of fixed income security, but security valuation and business valuation chapter you are doing, these are the three major, bigger and relatively more tricky chapters that we do towards the end of the classes, because they are more effort taking, and for that you have to first become capable by doing easier things. Any which ways, are you people clear about the paper, about the things? Are you sorted? Shall we please go back to the main thing? But I really wanted you to know the level with which examiner can ask you the question, the clarity with which you will have to be there in the class, be consistent. Because see, even if I teach my best but you don't end up completing the class, no use. I teach my best, you're not attentive in the class, not thinking on the points which I ask you to think, not answering the questions which I ask you to answer, there's no point. At any point, if you feel, sir, there's this particular feedback, can you please change this in your teaching pattern? Or, sir, we are not liking the way that you are doing this or that. You have all your rights to speak up. I'm all welcoming to your negative feedbacks also. But you'll have to speak up for that. And make sure you give your best efforts to make sure we really score super great, even if the paper is so out of the box. Done? Come on, live people, are you all there understanding me? What do you say? Shall we all be back? Yes. Where were we? In the practical question, we had done practical question number 8, question number 9 and onwards we have to do. Question number 9 is a really tricky question, a reverse calculation based question. The question which I want to give you in the form of challenge. Come on, live people, are you all there? Shall we proceed, recorded people? Question number 9 is a challenge question. Sir, what do you mean by a challenge question? Let me explain. The way you face a new question in the exam, which is a bit tricky out of the box. Similarly, this is the question I want you to face at home. Let's imagine that you are sitting in the exam hall of May 21 and suddenly you face a question in the exam. Will you be able to do this question? Let us try. But for that, you have to first become capable of it, right? So what do you have to ultimately do? When you go home, listen to me, it is the most important thing we particularly follow in the class. Sir, what is the thing? When you go home, sir, in every chapter, in every 2-3 days, I'll give you one question as challenge, which is a bit tricky out of the box. Listen to the point. Listen to the point. You will have to read the question at your own, understand it at your own. Don't look at the solution, try to solve it. Right? Don't look at the solution until you are sure that this is my final answer which I will give to ICA in the exam. You try it once, then tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll give you 1 to 2 days, right? But every student must try. I'll give you 1 to 2 days, then we discuss this question in the class. Then you figure out what was your thought process. How was my thought process different from you? What have you learned? These things make you capable of solving this new portion also, which is a big number if you realize. Yes? So this is the first challenge question I would want to give to you. I'm not even expecting you'll be able to do it. Why? Because when you are in the exam hall, you reach to the exam hall after 2 to 3 revisions, after 1 or 2 mocks. I understand at this point you have not done anything. But despite that, I would want you to revise the concepts at least, look at 1 or 2 questions and then try to solve this challenge question. When you people are done solving other questions, for example, this particular question, let's say we have done on calci, not in the notebook, this particular question, let's say. So while you do the things in the notebook, which you must do, while doing the questions in a notebook, you will automatically practice some easy question. It will be a kind of revision. That is when you will have to try doing question number 9 at your own. It will automatically happen after the revision, increasing the probability of you getting it. Am I, everyone in the class, clear? Are you ready to accept the challenge? Or no, already afraid of it? Come on. Are you people ready to accept the challenge? People, what do you say? Ninth question is a challenge. Let's see how many of you are able to crack it. Let's see how many of you are able to crack it. Done? Sorted. Sir, question number 10 you will be able to do only after you have done the particular thing. The particular thing is learning the next concept. Sir, we talked about growth. One way to calculate the growth in earning is this, using which then you can think of the growth of dividend. Another possibility which has happened in only one particular question so far is to calculate the growth rate using the past data. For example, everyone pay attention to it. Sir, let's say the EPS or DPS, any of the number you may assume, for the year of 2025 by a company, distributed by a company, was rupee 100. In 2026, it became 120, then it became 130, then it became 110, and ultimately it is people in the class 150. Perfect. This has been the history of past dividends distributed by the company. Can you tell me what has been the growth rate of dividend over the past 5 years? Sir, first of all, the question itself is incorrect. Why? There are in total of 4 years if you realize. The data belongs to 5, the data is of 5 years. But using 5-year data, you can calculate the growth of only 4 years, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Can you tell me what has been the average growth rate over a period of 4 years? Come on. Chavi, I will guide you on what you're saying. Just let me complete this. Which batch have you taken previously? Was it a regular batch or an exam oriented batch? Not yet taken? Fine. Then if I'm able to think in this manner, I would appreciate. Come on, others waiting for you to calculate the average growth rate. You will have to think and participate. Prem is here. Good morning, sir. Cleared group 1 September 25 AFM because of you, sir. Thank you so much. Prem, really happy for you. Thank you so much for your acknowledgement here. Thank you so much. What would you guide to these people, Prem? One-liner guidance. Come on, others in the class. Participate. Sir, one might think the company has grown from 100 to 150, which gives you how much growth rate? 150 minus 100 divided by 100 is equal to 50% of growth rate. But that is, sir, for a period of 4 years. So divide by 4 give me 12.5% per annum growth rate that we need. How many of you believe that whatever we have done is a correct way of calculating the growth? Come on, super fast, everyone. How many of you believe that whatever we have done is a correct way of calculating growth? If yes, great. If no, why? People, it looks logical, right? Something from 100 has become 150 over a period of time, so it become a 12.5% per annum growth rate. Sir, it is illogical because you have missed to consider the growth of individual years. For example, sir, this particular growth, if you observe, is 20%. This particular growth is 130 minus 120 divided by 120 is equal to 8.33%. This way, this will be some particular growth, this will be some particular growth, and overall, when you average up all your growths, that will be the average growth rate. That you all might find to be a better formula because it is an average of individual years growth rate. But you know ultimately what, people? Both of these formulas are incomplete because ultimately we are missing one of the most important element of finance, which is compounding. Boss, how are how is return calculated in AFM, or how is growth calculated in finance? Whenever your time period is more than a year, you have to always talk about compounding. There will be some exceptions which I'll tell you when we go ahead, but primarily you have to always consider compounding. Meaning to say something from 100 when become 150, right? It must be some annual return, some rate of return compounded every year. So can you all please apply your common sense? People, can I say, can I say that, sir? Wait. Can I say that, sir? See this. Sir, this is my present value. And we know that present value into 1 plus r to the power n is equal to future value. So if I have the amount today 100, if I know the future amount of 150 after 4 years, so I'm just trying to figure out what should be the rate of compounding or what should be the rate of growth over the next 4 years which can make my 100 to be 150 with the annual compounding effect. So sir, for example, if my present value is 100 into 1 plus, do you agree in our case the rate will not be the rate of interest but will be the rate of growth? Then important thing is over a period of 4 years. If you observe here, please particularly remember that this is a time period of not 3 years, 5 years, but only 4 years. So which is why I'm using this number 4 here, and the future value is equal to, in that case, 150. Now, can anyone in the class have the capabilities to solve this equation for G? What will be the answer of G? Sir, it's really simple. Let's imagine in our brain, sir, 100 will come here. Fine, sir. So it become 150 divided by 100. Then what? Sir, it is 1.5. So 1.5 is equal to 1 plus g to the power 4. To solve it, can I say it is 1.5 to the power 1 by 4 if you have to solve for 1 plus g? And how do you calculate 1 by 4? Basically 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. So basically under root and under root. Twice pressing under root. So 1 by 5 under root and again under root give me 1 plus g is equal to 1.1066. So z is equal to 0.1066, which is 10.67% because it was 668. On a rounded off basis, 10.67%. Do you connect to what I said? Let me write the steps for you. So sir, it is like 1 plus g is equal to 150, or I can say 1.5 to the power 1 by 4, which is simply pressing the under root twice. So 1.5 under root minus 1 give me 10.668. So g is equal to 0.1068 or 10.68%. Requesting people in the class your responses. How much out of 10 could I explain this particular thing to you? Super fast. Super fast. How much out of 10 could I explain this to you? Waiting. Come on, live people. Live people, can I have a quick one-liner feedback? Each one of you sitting in the class, are you finding the speed to be normal? Or are you finding it to be faster? Or are you finding it to be slower? Accordingly, I'll get to know how much can I adjust myself. Super fast, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Harshita is 10, Shruti is 10. Others, quick. Speed. In fact, recorded people, you can put it down in the YouTube comment. Priyanka think it's normal. Others, please. Just wanted to know, do I have a margin to speed up? Archana thinks it's slow. Cool. Others, I'm looking for a margin to speed up actually. Well, we will gradually anyways, even if you don't tell me. Chavi, little slow. Shruti, even you think it can be faster. Perfect. Fine. Sorted. So, sir, I hope you have written this particular thing. Let's go to Outscan and let's solve question number 10. Question number 10 is to be solved only on the calculator. No need to do it in the notebook. Only on calci question. When I say a question to be only on calci question, that does not mean it has a lesser importance. Yes, it is of importance, just that it does not have anything out of the box to present. Sir, let's do it on the calci. If you people feel a need, we will do it in the notebook. SRK Limited is a listing company, just announced a dividend for the year ended of 13-14. So for the year of 13-14, the dividend has just been announced, which means the given dividend is D0. Earnings per share and dividend per share for the last 5 years is EPS, DPS 13-14, 12-13, 11-12, 10-11 for the past 5 years have been given. Fine. In the opinion of MD of SRK, if the current dividend policy is maintained, annual growth in earnings and dividend will be no better than annual growth in earnings over the last 5 years. I would want you all to read this line again super fast. Come on, come on, come on. Read the line again. What it says? It says, if you maintain the dividend policy, if you continue to distribute the same amount, even in the future years, same percentage, even in the future years, then future growth of earnings and dividend will be same as the growth in earnings over the past 5 years, not the growth of dividends over the past 5 years. Sir, in the past, what has been the earnings growth that you see? The same growth you'll be able to maintain for earnings and dividend both in the future years. Fine. Since the board is reluctant to take debt to finance the growth, it is considering changing its dividend policy by retaining 50% of its earning for investment in various projects having post-tax return of 15%. Sir, now what is it doing? It is planning to retain 50% of its earning, right? Fine. So as of now, how much are we distributing? 8.2 divided by 14. So it is somewhere 58.57% right now, the dividend payout ratio 58.57. However, since I have to start a project, I need money. So I am planning, rather than distributing more dividend, let me retain something. So I will make sure that my dividend policy remain only 50%. And if that happens, I will invest that amount in the project, and the project is going to give you 15% rate of return. Please understand what is 15%. It is not the return that you as a shareholder require from the company. It is the rate of return which company, when invest in a project, company will be able to earn. Fine. Beta is 1.5, market risk premium 1.4, risk-free rate 6. You are required to calculate the expected market price if SRK does not announce the change in dividend policy. If there is no change in the dividend policy, which means growth of the future will continue to be the growth of past. Yes, in that case, what will be my people in the class value of share? Overall, you realize you have a growth, which means you have to apply Gordon's model. Formula is d1 divided by k minus g. Is the k given in the question anywhere? Is the k? Yes, sir. Beta given, Rm minus Rf given, and Rf given. So 4 into 1.5 is 6, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So k is clear at 12%. Fine. Sir, can anyone help me to calculate growth of the past years? Yes. How many of you think that if I ask you to right now give me the answer of past year annual compounded growth, you'll be able to give me? Please, please, please. Waiting for your responses. How many of you think you'll be able to do it? Super fast. Archana, your question remain unanswered, right? Cool. Come on, people. Do calculate the growth. So I know, sir, this is my future value. This is my present value. And present value into 1 plus r to the power 4, because year 1, 2, 3 and 4 to the power 4 is the future value. No, no, out here you asked me something. Not Archana, sorry, Chavi asked me something. Chavi, your question remain unanswered. Sorry. Yes. So 12.2 is the present value. Calculating the growth for y'all. Sir, 12.2 into is the present value into 1 plus growth to the power 4 is equal to 14. When you solve this, how much is the growth rate? How much is the growth rate? Harshada, examiner clearly says growth that will be maintained is the past growth of earnings. So in that case, you have to use the formula to calculate the past growth, not apply the formula of retention ratio into ROE. Are you understanding me? Everyone in the class, try to understand what is examiner is trying to say. That if there is no change in the policy, right? If the current dividend policy is maintained, then growth will be this. So using this formula, what will be the growth? 14 divided by 12.2. Then under root twice minus 1 give me 3.5 0.03500. So 3.5% as the amount of growth every year. Super fast. Are you people comfortable with the answer of growth of 3.5%? Please tell me. Accordingly, we'll be able to proceed. Come on, come on, come on, everyone. You will have to respond to me so that I can proceed, so that you don't find the class to be slow. Come on, everyone. Just give me a second. Let me have water. Yes. Did you all get it? 3.5. Perfect. If you don't say no, I will assume that you got it and we will continue. Perfect, sir. 3.5 is the growth rate. So if I have D0, which is 8.2, which I know that in future will grow by 3.5%. So 8.2 plus 3.5% basically multiplied by 1.035 divided by 0.12 was K and 0.035 is the growth. What turns out to be the answer? Sir, 8.2 plus 3.5% M plus 0.12 minus 0.035 in the denominator. Divide equal to into memory recollect, give me 99.847, which is 99.85 as the value of share. Boss, are you all, everyone, please comfortable with what we have done? Comfortable? The value of share using the past growth rate. So in this question, can we mark? In this question, can we mark that? Please mark it. From here to here is the point of learning. So as we say, every question tries to teach you something. So what has this question tried to teach us? Calculating the future growth rate based on the past growth rate. So now if you face any new question in the exam which has this concept, you should be able to apply it because you have learnt it. Perfect. So proceeding ahead. SRK does announce the change in dividend policy by retaining 50%. In that case, what will be the market price of the share? If company retains 50% of its earning, right? Again, I need to apply Gordon's model D1 divided by K minus G. My main question to you is, can anyone in the class, it's a classwork challenge, can anyone in the class give me the value of D1? How much is going to be my D1? That is something I'm expecting you all to answer. Sir, it is simply D0 into 1 plus G. Sir, what is the growth rate? If the policy is changed, then we will retain 50%, and that retained 50% will give me a return of 15%, will give me an ROE of 15%. So 50 multiplied by 15 is 7.5% of growth. So the dividend of next year will be 8.2 rupee of DPS multiplied by 7.5% of growth. How many of you think it is true? People, the dividend for next year is 8.2 multiplied by 7.5%. True or false? Come on, everyone in the class. True or false? What do you say? Are you people aligned to what I did? Retention ratio is 50%. ROE is 15%. Actually, it is ROI. Everyone. So accordingly, 50 multiplied by 15% give me 7.5% of my growth rate. And with that mindset, if growth rate is 7.5, can I say if D0 is 8.2 and growth is 7.5%, then D1 is 8.2 plus 7.5%, or I can say 8.2 multiplied by 1.075, whatever. True or false? Agreement or disagreement? Think and respond. Come on. Waiting for your responses. Super fast. Some people think yes, some people think no. Those who think no, can you tell me why? Sir, there is a logic to it. The logic, people in the class, the answer to this question particularly is false. This is an incorrect calculation. This is an incorrect calculation. Yes, sir. So let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Give me a minute. Fine. Let me take you. Let me give the reference of this particular question. One second, wait. Give the reference of question 10 here. Sir, why is the reference? Let me tell you. Examiners say, yes, cool. Examiners say that if you change the dividend policy and if you start to retain 50%, people in the class, please understand, do you agree that my payout ratio, which was till the date, for example, I'm standing at this point right now, right? The payout ratio, which was till date around 58% previously, now it will change to 50%. Hello? And if that happens, my dividend here is suppose 8.2, my earnings here suppose is 14. I know the earnings will grow at a particular rate, but will my dividend be able to grow at the same rate? The answer is no, because payout ratio has changed from 58 to 50. Could you all understand the detailing of concepts that you learn in the out notes? How is it applied in the out scanner? People. Is there a change in concept? Is there a change in the payout ratio? Yes. If there is a change in payout ratio, can the dividends growth be directly calculated? The answer is no. People, could you understand? For example, in our case, when the earnings grew by 10%, of which 60% when gets distributed, the growth of dividend I don't know directly. I cannot simply have D1 with me, apply a growth rate to it and calculate D2. Rather, what you have to do is this particular thing. Sir, to be able to calculate the growth in that case, to be able to calculate the amount of dividend here, if you want to calculate the amount of dividend here, just give me a second, then you will have to first calculate the earnings of next year. And once you have the earnings of next year, you will have to calculate you have to apply the payout ratio of next year. And using the earnings of next year and the payout ratio of next year, you'll be able to arrive at the dividend of next year. And what you cannot do is you cannot have the D1 and applying growth rate to it to calculate D2. Was requesting your responses. Could I please explain to you what we have to do in this particular case? Please tell me. Hello? So I can put the reference of question number 10 here actually. The reference of question number 10 I can put here. Waiting for your responses. What do you all say? People. How exactly that gets applied to the practical question? Let me show you. Sir, similarly in the practical question that we are doing, do you people agree my payout has changed from 58 to 50? Can I apply the growth rate directly to dividends? No. Which is why I said that 8.2 plus the 7.5% of growth rate is incorrect. What you have to rather do is apply that growth rate on the earnings. Earnings of 14 will grow by 15%, 7.5%, sorry. And once you have the earnings of the next year, multiplying 50% to it will give you the dividend of next year. That is how you calculate D1. Shall we all now proceed to solve this question? Perfect. So you please observe. So the growth rate is 7.5. D1 is not. I'm making you people write down something. Please write down. D1 is it's not D0 into 1 plus G. So it is not 8.2 multiplied by 1.075. Since the payout ratio is changing, therefore, we cannot directly apply the growth rate to dividend. Could you understand that what we cannot do? This is something you cannot do. Then what you have to do, that also let me write. We will rather apply the growth rate to EPS and then multiply payout ratio to it to find the DPS. Boss, is this not clear? Whenever you are done writing it, please let me know. Then we can proceed to do the calculations ahead. Come on. Let me know whenever you are done writing. So what was the point of learning here? That in any question, whenever we see the payout ratio as changing, would we be able to ever apply the growth rate directly? Would we be able to ever apply the growth rate directly to the dividend? The answer is no, 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 no. You will have to rather multiply EPS 0 into 1 plus growth rate into the payout ratio. You don't have to write the formula, it is just for your ease I have written it down. There's no need to write down this formula. Cool. Giving you how much? 14 plus 7.5% into 50% give me 7.525 rupee as my dividend. 7.525 rupee as my dividend of first year. Divided by K is 12%, which we calculated growth forever will be 7.5%. So 7.525 divided by 0.045 give me 167.22 rupee on a rounded off basis as the price of share. That was question number 10. Less asked previously, right? Asked only in the MTP ones. But at this point, we don't have a right to narrow down or choose what's relevant, what's not relevant. At this point, we have to do everything that question tries to teach us. Like all the question which tries to teach us something. Question 10, are we done? Now, what do you feel? Do you feel like doing it on the in the notebook? I think it's better. Please consider doing it in the notebook. It will help you to retain two things. Calculating the growth rate using past data. Second, the fact this one. So please consider doing it in the notebook. Question number 10th gets done. 11th is a brilliant question we are going to do right now in the class. Please everyone, look at this question. Question number 11. We are doing it right now. In December 2011, AB company was sold. The share of AB company was sold for rupee 146 per share. So price of share has been given as 146. Fine, so a long-term earning growth rate, is 7.5% is anticipated. Future earnings of the company will grow by 7.5. Company expect to pay dividend of 3.36. So I have been given the price. I have been given the D1 because expected to pay dividend, which is why D1. I have been given the growth. What rate of return investor can expect it to earn? Expected rate of return they are asking. In other words, required rate of return they are asking. As I said, when the share is assumed to be fairly valued, this is something I've taught to you in the outnotes. Are you all able to recollect? When the share is fairly valued, when the intrinsic value is assumed to be same as CMP, then the required and expected rate of returns are same and they are interchangeably used. Perfect. So with that mindset, everyone, what rate of return can investor expect to earn, required to earn? assuming that dividends grow along with the earning at the rate of 7.5% per annum in perpetuity, sir, till forever, if the dividends also grow by 7.5, see, 7.5 was my earnings growth rate. If dividend also grow by 7.5, then how much is the rate of return? Can anyone try to think what we have to do in this question? Come on. Part A of the question. Can anyone try to think what do we have to do? People, what do you say? Wait. Just give me a second. What's wrong with it? Yes. So what we are doing is question number 11. You have to find out K simply. Apply your common sense and tell me what are the ways to calculate K. The first way is to you calculate using RFRM beta. Is the data of RFRM beta given? No. The second approach is to calculate K using Gordon's model, which is D1 divided by P0 plus G. How many of you think that in question number 11 that particular thing can be applied? Please. Yes, is equal to D1 divided by P0 plus G. How much is the expected dividend? 3.36 divided by how much is P0? P0 is 146. How much is growth? Sir, it is 0.075. What do I need to take G here? The growth of dividend, not the growth of earnings, which is 7.5%. So 3.36 divided by 146 plus 0.075 give me 9.8. It is 0.0980 or 9.80 percentage. People, is it all easy and set? I mean, I'm literally applying the concept that we have learned. Calculating expected rate of return, required rate of return has three possibilities. CAPM not applicable, then this possibility. Super fast, give me a response. Are you all settled? Then I take you ahead. Come on. Waiting for your responses, people. Are you all settled? Can I take you all ahead? Archana, even if you apply that, sir, P0 is equal to D1 divided by K minus G, you will get the same answer. Sir, what is my D1? 3.36 divided by. What is my K? That is something I'll have to find out. 0.075 is the growth rate. How much is P0? P0 is 146. Let's try to solve it. Let's try to solve it. Math has to be simplified. Can I bring this entire part here and 146 here to the denominator? Yes, sir. So it become K minus 0.075 is equal to 3.36 divided by 146. Agreed, sir. Then you bring 7.0.075 here to the RHS, it gets cancelled. So automatically K is this equation only which we have done. Are you understanding? Could I simplify it for you? Others in the class, Harshita, Archana, you are set. Yes or no? Harshita, Chavi. Other live and recorded people set, are we? Done. So expected rate of return, A part is clear. Part number B of this question. The main part for which we are doing this question, the main part. It is expected that AB company will retain 10% of the book equity. Priyanka, set, are we? It is expected that AB company will retain about 10% of book equity and sorry, my bad, I'll repeat that line. It is expected that AB company will earn about 10% of book equity and shall retain 60% of earnings. Can you tell me what is the data given? Company will earn 10% on book equity. The return that you earn on book equity is called as what? The return that you earn on book equity is called as ROE, and it shall retain 60% of earning is the retention rate. So ROE has been given, retention rate has been given. In this case, whether there will be any change in the growth rate and cost of equity. People, my first question, the growth rate of earnings, which was 7.5 previously, right, which was also the growth of dividend, will it change in the future years? What do you want to say? Will it change in the future years? Yes, sir. ROE is 10, retention ratio is 60. So growth of future revised growth rate is how much? Sir, retention ratio multiplied by ROE. So 60% into 10% is 6% is the growth rate revised. So growth rate, sir, will obviously change. The obvious answer is yes. Will the ROE change? Now you people are not going to write it. You people are not now going to understand it. Sir, will the growth change? Yes. Due to change in growth, how much will my revised KE be? So I will say revised KE is d1 divided by p0 plus g. That is something you can write it down now. Or in fact, let me complete it first. How much is my d1? 3.36. How much is my p0? 146. And how much is the growth rate now? Divide by 0.06. Can you tell me what are you getting as the answer? Come on. What are you getting as the answer? Waiting for your responses. Rather than KE, I will use the word revised KE. 8.3 is being spoken. 3.36 divided by 146 plus 0.06 give me 8.3% as the answer. Have you written this down? If yes, people in the class, please cut it. Ha 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 ha. Yes. If you have written this down, please cut it. Can anyone in the class try to think an answer? Sir, why is this particular answer an incorrect answer? Come on. What, sir? After so long, we thought of giving the answer proactively. And this is what you have done with us. I make you people cut this so that you can remember the mistake we have done here. Can anyone in the class think of what is the mistake? Think, think, think. Sir, what is the mistake? The mistake is really simple. Sir, you are expecting that your dividend will be 3.36. Do you agree that dividend was assuming an older growth rate? That dividend was assuming an older growth rate of 7.5%. Now the dividend will grow at the rate of 6%. So won't your dividend change? People in the class, are you able to connect? So what should the revised solution be? What should the revised solution be? I will say, let me try it again for you. Calculation of revised D1. Calculation of revised D1. Wait for it. I will write it down. If you agree to it, then you write it down. Wait for it. Can I say revised D1 will be 3.36, which is the existing D1, right? But that was after a growth of 7.5%. So if I eliminate the growth of 7.5, if I divide it by 1.075, I will get D0. And when I multiply it with the new growth rate, I will get revised D1. Do you people agree to it? Or wait, let me simplify it with you, for you better, because in future you will otherwise struggle. Calculation of existing D0 using D1, using given D1. So it's like 1 3.36, sorry, 3.36 divided by 1.075 give me 3.12 or maybe 3.13, and now revised D1 is 3.13 of D0 into revised growth rate of 1.06. So 3.13 into 1.06 give me 3.32. So it's basically 3.3178, which is 3.32. How many of you agree this to be the correct solution? Come on. How many of you agree this to be the correct solution now? Please, 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 super fast. I have removed the growth, the older growth of 7.5%. You have to please understand the logic here. You have to please understand the logic here. Suppose my EPS was 100. With 20% growth rate, it become 120. So if I have been given 120 and if I have to calculate the EPS of 0 point using E1, it's not that from 120 I have to deduct 20%. Then I will end up deducting 24 rupee out of it and I'll be left with only 96. I have to divide 120 with 1.2 to get the EPS of 0 point of rupee 100. People in the class, first of all, this maths, are you clear? I can't do 3.36 minus 7.5%. I'll have to do 3.36 divided by 1.075 to get the DPS of 0 point and then apply the revised growth rate of 6% to get the dividend of 3.32 of D1. Now you people at least agree that my dividend will change. Come on. Super fast, I need a validation, I need a response to it before I can proceed ahead. What do we say? If you agree to it, write it down. If you don't agree to it, don't write it down. Archana disagrees to it. Archana says EPS to be first adjusted, which is why I feel it wrong. And Archana, that's really, really correct. Even this one is wrong. Oh my God, sir, what are you doing? Sir, this one was wrong because dividend will get revised. Wrong because due to change in growth rate, my dividend D1 will also change. Now, why is this one wrong, sir? This we are not able to understand. Can anyone guess why is this one wrong? And you know what? You will have to write it first. You will have to, people in the class, write it first. Then only you'll be able to avoid this mistake and always remember. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You may not like me for this. Are you people hating me for this? That, sir, you're making us write something, then you're making us cut it. Are you people hating me for that? Come on. What do you say? Archana, at least you could think of it. Great. Harshita, appreciable that you could realize that we have to change give the effect of payout as well. Shruti, all other recorded people, could you understand what is happening? What is happening is that, sir, now I will teach you right from the scratch. Do you agree that suppose I have an EPS here, right, at the end of first year. Using this EPS, there was a payout ratio. So I got a DPS. Now this EPS was based on 7.5% growth rate. Now we are saying my growth rate will change to 6%. But please tell me that 6.5% growth rate is the growth rate of earnings or growth rate of dividend? What do you think? This is my EPS of 0. So from 0 to 1, it was previously 7.5. But now 0 to 1, revised E1 will be based on 6%. My question to you, this revised 6% growth is the growth of dividend or growth of earning? Sir, it is a growth of earning. So how could you apply the formula of growth of earning to the growth of dividend? How could you directly add 6% to your dividend and not earning? Because sir, earnings growth and dividend growth are same. You have taught to it, boss. Only when the payout ratio is same. Sir, till this point, payout ratio was something. Now the payout ratio has become something else, which is why my revised D1 will become something else. Since my payout ratio has changed, therefore, growth rate of earning cannot be assumed to be the growth rate of dividend. This is the point I'm trying to convey to you. How many of y'all are able to connect to it finally, people in the class? Please tell me. I'm yet to speak, although. I'm yet to speak. But are you people clear with the direction at least? Come on, come on, come on. Quick response to it. Are you people able to connect to the direction at least? Do you people agree my payout has changed? Sir, can you justify it? Okay, I will justify it. But if the payout change, do you agree? But if the payout change, do you agree that, sir, growth of earnings and growth of dividends are different? Agreed, sir? In that case, the formula of retention ratio into ROE is the formula of growth of earnings. You cannot apply that formula directly to the dividends. Sir, you cannot apply that growth directly to the dividends. This was the main point of learning. Sir, you have to apply it at the earnings level. That is the rectification we will do here. But let's first we will do this rectification of text here. Okay, this was just the copy test. I am yet to rectify it. But sir, this is what is to be primarily done. The answer is yes. Now let me explain it to you in detail. Cool, hold on for a minute. Since the payout ratio is also changing, therefore earnings and dividend growth will be different. And the effect of the effect of old and new growth has to be given at EPS level. Chalo boss, when you have written this down, let me know. I will make it more clear to you. Super fast. When you have written this down, let me know. So now I'll tell you the final answer. So now I will tell you the final answer. Whenever you're ready for this, let me know. I'll speak the final answer. Come on, please make it a bit faster because these things, when we do, it helps you to evolve, but it ends up taking extra time, which creates a burden on me to complete the syllabus on time. So please, please, please do it faster. Done. Shall we proceed ahead? Done. So finally, the final answer. Let me copy for you people. In one of my previous batches, I had explained this particular thing through timeline. Just give me a second. So this is something I want to introduce to you, that we are going to learn a lot of things using timeline approach. This is what I want to copy for you. From here, you will have to understand what I mean to say. It's okay if you don't make it, because what we will rather do is that I will anyways upload these annotated hand notes to your Google Drive. Okay? So when you draw something, see, the solutions you will have to anyways write down, because without practice, everything is a loss. If you feel that you won't write down the solution because I am anyways providing to you these annotated handwritten notes, then please stop watching the lectures. There's no point of you being here with us in the class right now. You have to anyways write, simple. However, these things, you if you write, will be better at the time of exam for you to revise. If you don't write, then you will have to open two notes, one your handmade notes, another my annotated notes, because you can refer to this timeline. Now let me re-explain the question to you. Now we're going to do it faster. Okay, please understand people what is happening. Where is the thing? Hold on. Look at this question. Sir, my at present payout ratio is 40%. Sorry, my revised payout ratio will be 40%. Yes. Can you tell me what was my payout ratio previously? Has any payout ratio been given previously? Sir, of the previous situation, right, existing situation, growth rate is 7.5, which means we have not been given any idea of the payout. Although they have told me that I will retain 60%, right? But what was my past retention, that I don't know. But sir, has it changed? This is the only point of ambiguity or point of remembrance in this question. Okay, even if this question is logical, you will have to kind of remember it. Why? Because examiner has not specified that previously what was my retention ratio. When the growth was 7.5, at that point was my retention 80% or say 50%, or what percentage was it? Now it has become 60, that is clear. So what was my previous retention? You will have to understand, sir. Previously my growth is 7.5. So retention ratio multiplied by ROE is 7.5. Now, do you people agree that presently ROE is 10? Presently retention ratio is 60, which is why presently growth is 6. I mean in the revised case. In the revised case, growth is 6. In the previous case, growth was 7.5, which means surely one of the two variables has to be different. Either retention ratio has to be something else or ROE has to be something else. People, what do you think is easy for business to change? What is in the hands of the company to change? Is the ROE in the hands of the company, or is the retention ratio in the hands of the company? Sir, ROE is a nature of business, that is not the decision you take, but retention ratio is the decision you take. So you have to continue to assume that ROE was 10 only, the retention ratio must have been different to make the growth of 7.5. Using these numbers, if you calculate the old retention ratio, it turns out to be how much? 7.5 divided by 10 gives me 75% as my older retention ratio, which has now become 60. Do you all first of all realize this thing? This is how we got to know that the retention ratio of the company or the dividend payout ratio of the company has changed. Because now the growth is 6 and previously the growth was 7.5, then something previously was different, either ROE or the retention ratio. ROE cannot be different, which is why retention ratio was different and it turned out to be 75%. People, super fast, please tell me yes or no. Everyone, are you people clear with this thing first? Come on, tell me. Assuming ROE as same, this particular thing you tell me, old retention ratio. So I know growth is equal to retention ratio multiplied by ROE. The growth is 7.5 is equal to retention ratio multiplied by 10. So old retention ratio was 75%. Yes. So now you realize one thing. Existing dividend per share which is given in the question is 3.6. Sir, can I directly give the effect of growth of 7.5 and 6% to the dividend? No, sir. Because payout has also changed. And due to change in payout, all these things has to happen at earnings level because these are the growth of earnings. So previously, if the payout ratio was 7.5, then how much was the retention ratio? 25. Can you all please, people, everyone in the class, use your calculator and back to back give me the answers. If my dividend, if my D1 in the existing case is 3.36, which is after 25% payout ratio, how much will my E1 be in the existing case? 3.36 divided by 25% give me 13.44 as my E1. This earning will be there. This even was there using, in the existing case, this even was there using 7.5% growth rate. Then how much would my E0 be? 3.34 divided by 1.075 give me 12.50. But now, since my retained earnings have changed to 60% from 75, will my growth will also change? Yes, it will become 6%. So growth of dividend or earnings? Growth of earnings, sir. Dividend will change more because of this changed EPS, I will now distribute a changed payout ratio. Dividend will change because of two reasons: change in growth of earnings as well as change in payout. Yes. So how will my revised even will be 12.50 plus 6% give me 13.25. And of this revised earning now, I will end up distributing 40% because retaining 60%. So multiplied by 40% give me 5.3. So can you all please imagine this timeline? This is 0 year. Let me show that timeline to you. This is 0 year. Come on, wait. Just a second. This is 0 year, this is 1 year. This is existing D1 and E1 using which you calculate E0. And using revised growth rate, revised estimate of growth, you calculate revised E1 and D1. This is how you will have to do it, but you will have to do it not at the different level. Rather, you from D1 to E1, then E0, then revised E1, then D1. This is how you will do it. How much out of 10 are you people clear with everything being taught in this question and comfortable with the timeline presentation of it? Waiting for your responses. People, please, 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 the writing part we will do once we are comfortable with the concepts. Come on. Archana, you're 10 on 10. Others in the class. Shruti, 10 on 10. Priyanka, Harshita, other live people, other recorded people seeing it, watching it. Yes? So here we had learned that it cannot happen at EPS level. It had to happen at different earnings level. It could not happen at DPS level, it had to happen at earnings level. So now we have this. Now I want that we don't waste time in writing the answer again, because this is, if you realize, writing the answer only. This is the start point, this is the end point. I have made the arrows as well, if you realize. So step 1 is this. Step 2 will be finding the existing E1, which is 3.36 divided by 25%, 13.44. Step number 3 is calculating E0, which is 13.44 divided by 1.075. So people, if you realize, this is nothing but the presentation only. So are you people fine if we don't do the presentation again? Come on, tell me. Please. And in case of emergency, you anyways have the outscanner with you, where the same thing has been done, but with the timeline, you understand the thing in a better way. So in case of emergency, the outscanner is there. But we have for now done it with timeline. So are you people okay? Can you assume it to be the solution only? If you say yes, we don't separately write down anything, you can only write down or draw this particular thing, is what I'm saying. Come on, quick, tell me. Because anyways, we have particularly marked the start and the end point. Yes, so please draw it. I'm waiting. Then we all go for a break. Make it fast actually. Yes, Archana, I will. Actually, for the last few days, the exams were there and I was really tied up with all that. People, are you done writing? Come on, tell me, please. Are you people done writing? Please tell me. Yes, cool. So this is for the first time we have drawn a timeline. So any question where we see any such thing, please observe that this is again unique to our class, where we try to convert the things to the timelines, tables, charts, graphs to make your learning easy, more impactful, more logical, more conceptually clear, right? So over the time we will make more such timelines, right? Although it takes a bit of more time in the class, but it is worth it. Ultimately, the objective is not to somehow finish it within the given time frame. You have to learn it with the quality, is the point. Yes. So that was all, right? Question number 11th with that gets done. Done in the sense that if you have revised the D3, let me speak for a minute and then we go for a break. If you have the revised D1, then we can calculate the cost of equity revised K to be D1 divided by P0 plus G. Since we have written down the formula once, there is no need to write it down again. D1 divided by P0 of 146 plus G of 0.06, giving you what answer as 5.3 divided by 146 plus 0.06. Sorry, 5.3 divided by 146 divided by 0.06 is, sorry yaar, 5.3 divided by 146 plus 0.06 is 9.63% as the revised KE. People, the final answer that you have to give to the examiners is given 9.63% as the answer, which is the answer here, right? There is one more alternative answer to this question by institute, but this one seemed to be more logical, so we included only this one. I cannot unnecessarily waste your time guy by giving you more alternative solutions which are less logical. You are anyways going to get the marks for this, which is why I have incorporated this. In this, like on this matter, you will have to trust me. Perfect. Because I'm anyways being transparent that there are alternative solutions to this. Perfect. So question number 11 gets done. Now we go for a break. We are meeting back at 10:05. Then we will learn the things ahead, solve further question. Got it? Let's meet back at 10:05 people. Archana, can you please give me a reminder on WhatsApp for your message so that your chat comes to the top? Fine. People, see you all at 10:05. Bye. Cholo boss. Please let me know when you're there. Are you people back? Please let me know when you're back. Yes, yes, yes. So please listen to me. Question number 11th we have done by writing it down in the notebook. Okay, just give me a second. 12th question is an easy question you'll have to do in homework. Easy plus challenge. I mean, you have to do it without looking at it. 12th question is an easy challenge question. 13th question is a good question. We will do it in the class by writing it down. 13th. Okay? Give me a minute. 14th is an ambiguous question. We'll have to write down. 15th we won't have to do. Cool. Shall we proceed? Are we all there? So we are now starting with question number 13. So let's get started. The following financial data are available for PQR Limited for the year 2008. What data is available? 8% debenture is 125 lakhs, 10% bond is 50 lakhs with the company. Equity share of the company is 100. Now, sir, there is a small point of confusion here. When they say equity shares, right, it cannot be in rupee. What they have actually meant to say is equity share capital. Okay, it relates to the equity share capital actually. So equity share capital is 100 lakhs, the reserve surplus of the company is 300 lakhs, and the total assets of the company is 600 lakhs. 1 second. The total of liability side is how much? Sir, 125 plus 50 plus 100 plus 300. So 575 is so far the total of liability side, and the total of asset side they say is 600, which means that there must be some current liabilities about which we have not been given the information. Fine. Asset turnover ratio is 1.1. Can anyone in the class help me recollect what is asset turnover ratio? Everyone? Asset turnover ratio? Hello? Do you remember these formulas that you've done at C enter level? Chavi, were you there? Were you missing in the class? Yes. Asset turnover ratio, come on everyone, do you people remember? No sir, so let's go to the outnotes to write this down. In the outnotes, as I said, there is a particular place. Go to the basics of AFM. You will find a page where we have to just before the concept of, wait, where is that formula page? Yeah, just before the concept of different types of rates of return, right? Mostly page number 5 of your outnotes, you have all these formulas. So let's one by one write them down. So first one is asset turnover ratio. Asset turnover ratio, people in the class, is sales of the company divided by, which is nothing but revenue. Sales of the company, which is nothing but revenue, divided by Archana, Archana, I'll give to you 1 second. Can you please come to Outnotes page number 5 where we are writing this? Sales or revenue divided by average assets of the company, right? If the average is missing, if the average is not given, then closing you can take if average is missing. Perfect. So sales or revenue divided by average assets is the formula of asset turnover ratio. Perfect. We are doing which particular question? Question number 13th. Fine. Archana, question number 12 was homework. 12 number is homework. So 13th question, we have been given the total assets of the company. We have been given the asset turnover ratio. Agreed? Agreed? Effective interest rate has been given as 8%. Effective tax rate has been given 40%. Operating margin. Can anyone in the class help me recollect what is operating margin? People. Operating margin, everyone, is EBIT divided by sales, which is your operating profit divided by sales, is 10%. Dividend payout ratio 16.67. Current market price 14 rupee. Required rate of return 15. We have to first of all draw the income statement. Yes, we have to first of all draw the income statement. In the income statement, what is the first number that you require? Sir, sales is the first number, correct? Are you able to calculate the sales at your own? People, using this data, can you please calculate the sales? Question number 13, page number 9. चलो, so सबसे पहले sorry I started to speak in English. I started to speak in Hindi actually. First we need to calculate sales. Can I say sales, or I can first of all I'll say calculation of sales. How do you calculate it? Sir, I know that asset turnover ratio is equal to sales divided by assets. If I have been given the ratio as 1.1, I have been given the assets of the company as 600, then sales in that case will be 660 lakhs. Yes. So if I have sales, if I have operating margin, then I can calculate EBIT as my operating profit, from which I can deduct the interest because I have the amount of debt and I have the amount of effective interest. Sir, and accordingly I'll be able to make my income statement. Shall we all proceed? So now we say income statement. Income statement. Sir, let's continue to make it in rupee lakhs. Perfect. Starting with sales. Sir, how much is it? 660. Sir, then I say operating cost. Deduct operating cost. Bracket mein at the rate of 90%. So 660 multiplied by 90%. 660 multiplied by 90% is 594. Automatically gives me EBIT as how much? My operating profit as 666. From the EBIT, the first number that you deduct is interest. Sir, now this is the point of learning. Please mark it, point of learning. Do you know why do we mark these things? Because later on, when you revise, imagine one day before the exam, when you're revising the question, the entire question, you don't need to waste a time. Specifically, which is out of the box for you to think is this particular point where we mark point of learning. You can find out, you can revise that particular portion of the question and go ahead in case of lack of time, shortage of time. Sir, the point of learning is you don't have to take interest at the rate of 8% and 10% on the debenture and bond. You will have to rather take the effective interest rate. This belongs to the concept of FR. that you must have read or you will read in FR, that the interest amount that goes to the income statement is actually the amount of debt multiplied by the effective interest rate. Yes. So if my effective interest rate is 8%, then amount of debt is 125 plus 50 multiplied by 8%. But sir, is it logical? Will we be able to always, you know, we won't be able to do such things at our own when we see that first time in any question. Agreed. But these kinds of questions examiner won't ask you, as like it won't be there in all the questions in the exam paper. There are some questions in AFM which are logical but has some element of remembrance because they are different. For example, this particular thing, it is logical but is a bit different. You will have to remember. So don't worry about such questions when you revise them. When you do first revision, second revision, automatically you'll be able to have their remembrance and you won't have to specifically mug them up, is my point. Perfect. So interest, sir, 125 plus 50 multiplied by 8% give you 14 rupee of interest, right? Giving you PBT of how much? Profit before tax is 66 minus 14 as 52. Sir, how much is the tax rate? Effective tax rate is 40%. Yes, so 52 multiplied by 40% is 20.8. When you deduct it, you get PAT. And since there is no preference share, that is your EAS only, giving you 31.2 as your PAT. From this PAT, if you deduct the payout ratio, equity dividend is how much? At the rate of 16.67%. So 31.2 multiplied by 16.67% is 5.20. 5.20. Now there is a point. Please understand. Do you agree? Do you agree that entire question is in terms of lakhs? So far in all the calculations that we have done, there was no need of rounding it off. Why? Because all the numbers were already rounded off numbers. This is for the first time that I'm getting on my calci 5.2010. Since the number is in lakhs, I should ideally take it till 4 digits after the decimal point. Let me explain what do I mean to say. Let me take you to the rounding off rules. Okay, as I said, all the basics are there, all the basics are compiled in the basics of AFM chapter. So we might read it over the time as and when needed, but once the book is ready, when the classes are done, when you revise, you will have all of them compiled at one place. So before starting the revision, you will go through the rounding of rules and everything. You will have that comfort. Please listen to me now. This teaches to you, page number 13 of Outnote teaches to you the rounding off rules. What does it have? Rounding off rule tells you what is the situation to round off. Can you please help me recollect in any of the previous class? Have I talked about it in the class? Rounding off rules? People quick. Have I explained to you anything in the class about the rounding off rules? People please tell me. In any of the previous classes? Yes or no? I'm not able to recollect. We have multiple batches, right? No, no, I will explain. Sir, first of all, you have to understand, is there a need of rounding off? For example, you calculate EPS as 5.20. Is there a need of round off? No. You calculate EPS to be 2.235. Is there a need of round off? No. To calculate EPS 2.385, 2.4385, no need. If the number is naturally turning out to be till 2 or 3 or 4 digits after the decimal point, there is no need to round off, take the full decimal. It is naturally till 3 or 4. Where is the need to do the round off? Please understand. Sir, for example, a number is 1.578436 something, something, something. Then there is a need of round off. First point. Now, if you round off, you have to understand something. The number of decimals, number of digits till which you will round off. For example, there's something called as beta, which we will learn detail in portfolio management. There is something called as correlation, which we will learn in portfolio management. All these things will be rounded off till 3 digits after the decimal point. But you don't have to remember all of them right now. Right now, the point is calculating any percentage return actually, like KE, like ROE, like any other percentage like dividend yield, dividend rate. All these rates are to be rounded till 2 digits after the decimal point. Similarly, any amount which is in lakhs and crores has to be taken till 4 digits, and any amount which is not in lakhs and crores, which is till rupee, I mean to say 4,23,894.86 rupee is how you can round it off. For example, if it is 857, you can round it off to 86. But if you say 4.23 lakhs, that is unfair logically. Why? Because do you people agree? When you say 4.24, it's not 4.23. When you say 4.24, basically you are rounding off in terms of thousand if you realize. 4,23,894 has been converted to 4,24,000. So if something is in terms of lakhs, crores, millions, which is a big number, you have to take it till 4 digits after the decimal point. 4.2389 actually should be the answer. This much lakhs should be the answer. If something is in lakhs, you have to take it till 4. Something is still the unit place like rupee, you have to take it till 2. Is this thing, people in the class, clear to every single student sitting here? Come on, tell me. You say yes, I'll take you ahead. You say yes, I will take you ahead. Come on, come on, come on. What do you say? Please. Super fast, please. Yes. Sir, has institute given you this guidance of how do you round off? No. I have observed institute's question. Institute actually has been random. Sometimes the number is in lakhs, it rounds off till 2. Sometimes it rounds off till 4. Considering various things, observing various questions, right? I have observed that it is better to stretch the number of digits rather than taking lesser digits, lesser number of digits after decimal point, because somewhere it has taken this, somewhere it has taken this. So it is not the conclusion that institutes had himself given, itself given. It is my observation of institute's question on what is the best scenario of securing maximum marks. So this turned out to be the conclusion. Perfect. So now please listen to me. Frankly saying, these days, in the last few attempts, when institute asks you any question, it specifically mentions you. It specifically mentions people in the class, what is the rounding off rules to be followed in the question itself. For example, when this question was asked in November 22, I guess it was being written that you have to round it off till 2 digits after the decimal point. So far as I remember, right? Anyways, let's assume it's not written. So in that case, we will round it off till 4 digits after the decimal point. Cool? There is a possibility that in the study material they would have taken it till 2, but let me tell you, will you be able to remember question wise that in which question it is till 4, it is till 2? No. So let's follow the majority, let's follow what is logical. Make it till 4 digits after the decimal point. So my retained earnings turns out to be how much? Retained earnings is 31.2 minus 5.2010 is 25.999, right? Let me now show you the solution. They have taken it till 2, you have taken it till 4, it is absolutely fine. Okay? In case you feel any doubt, for example, when you look at the number of 25.999, you have to be diplomatic to the examiner. You will have to say 25.999 or 26. This automatically makes sure that you get the needed marks. That simple is the solution. Yes, everyone. So the first part of the question, which is creation of income statement, we have done. This is the only question in the entire AFM, so far as I remember, which asks you to prepare the income statement, right? This was part A of the question. Part B, we have to calculate the sustainable growth rate. Let's think. What do we need for sustainable growth rate? We need of earnings, we need ROE, we need retention rate. Sir, do we have the ROE ready? No. Sir, ROE is actually earnings available to equity shareholder divided by equity shareholders fund. Agreed. Earnings available to equity shareholder is how much? Sir, PAT or EAES is 31.2. Agreed. 31.2 lakhs. And how much is the equity shareholder fund? Sir, it is 100 plus 300, which is 400. Yes. Accordingly, what is ROE? 31.2 divided by 400 is 7.8%, 0.078 or 7.8%. Sir, do we have the retention ratio? Yes, it is 1 minus payout ratio. So 1 minus 0 point, or maybe I can say, better we make it in terms of percentage. 100 minus 16.67 is how much? 100 minus 16.67 is 83.33%. Right? So overall I can say growth is retention ratio multiplied by ROE. Rather than using the word growth, we should better use the word sustainable growth rate. Retention ratio multiplied by ROE. Retention ratio is 83.33% multiplied by ROE that you calculated to be 7.8%. Can you all tell me the percentage of growth? Write down only if you agree to it. It may happen that I may make you people cut it. Oh my God. Well, that was just a joke. Don't worry. Don't worry. Write it. Write it, write it, write it. Don't worry, I won't make it cut to you. 83.33 multiplied by 7.8% give me 6.499 or 6.5% as the growth. In fact, you can directly write down 6.5. It's absolutely okay. 6.5% as the growth rate. So B part of the question gets done. C part asks for the fair price. Price of share. So which model will you apply? Sir, if I have growth rate, if I have the information of dividend, if I have the information of required rate of return, then Gordon's model I should logically apply. Yes. How much is the amount of dividend? Sir, my total amount of dividend is 5.2010. On how many number of shares? Sir, it is on 10 lakh shares. So how much is the dividend per share? So let me first of all calculate dividend per share. Dividend per share. Now, the only ambiguity is, unlike other question where institute used to assume dividend to be D1, in this particular question, institute assumed the dividend to be D0. This is the only ambiguity of this question, which we will have to kind of remember. Sir, is it really? Remember a particular question that we have to assume it D0 and not D1? Answer is unfortunately yes. I have observed, analyzed the certified copies. Unless the problem is very illogical, unless something is very illogical, institute, continues to follow its own solution. Institute, see, they are also correct, we are also correct. D0 can also be assumed, D1 can also be assumed, because ultimately it's an assumption, it's not a mistake. We have to unfortunately take their assumption to secure marks, because otherwise institute does not allot marks, I have observed. But sir, how would we remember such things? The only way to remember is that as you practice that ambiguous question and ambiguous solution again and again by writing it down, by reading this particular self note, you will be able to, people in the class, remember it. But how will we identify the question? This is the only question where income examiner asks you to draw the income statement actually. The only question, let me tell you. Getting it, people? Even if you write down your assumption, Priyanka, you won't get marks. Unfortunately, we have to follow what institute does. This is the unfortunate part with CA final AFM, in which even I cannot help. I try to eliminate as much as ambiguities as I can, but ultimately sometimes it does happen that we have to follow what institute does. Getting it? Please? Yes. So D0 is what you have to understand and calculate. Sir, 5.2010 is the total amount of dividend. On total number of shares of 10 lakhs, give me 0.5201 as the amount of dividend. Yes sir, perfect. Now we have to calculate the value of share, price of share, sorry. What is the formula? Formula is D1 divided by K minus G. Sir, what is D0? 0.5201 into 1.0, how much is the growth rate? 65. 1.065 divided by KE is 0.15 minus 0.065. People, please, what is the answer? Get the answer. 0.5201 into 1.065 m plus 0.15 minus 0.065 divide equal to into memory recollect give you 6.51. Wait, 6.5165, which is 6.52 on a rounded off basis as the answer. Rupee 6.52 per share is the answer to this particular question. Fair price of the company. Fair price of the company we have calculated. D part of this answer of this question, opinion at the current market price. Since the current market price is 14, it is more than the fair price. We feel the share to be overvalued, right? So in D part, we will write since current market price in the bracket rupee 14 is more than fair price. What did we calculate as the fair price? In the bracket rupee 6.52. Therefore, share is overpriced. Therefore, we should sell it is the opinion. We should sell it is the opinion. So this is how the presentation, people in the class, to the examiner should be. Question number 34 gets done. Question number 13th gets done. Let me know when you are also done with it. People, are we all 10 out of 10 set with this particular question? Come on, tell me. Chavi, are you there in the class? You asked me a particular question on which I wanted to clarify you, provided you are listening to me. Harshita, are we 10? Priyanka, Archana, others sitting in the class? Shruti, are we 10? Done are we? Yes, great. So question 13th, people, gets done. Question number 14th is an ambiguous question. In fact, it is logical but typical. Sir, what do you mean by typical? It is of a particular nature. It does not look like a generic question. It is a random question, but it is logical. The only point is that institute has done a mistake while solving this question. What is the kind of mistake they have done? Let me explain. An example I'm sharing. The mistake they have done is actually when I ask you to calculate net profit margin, how do you calculate net profit divided by sales? What if institute does sales divided by net profit? What if institute does sales divided by net profit? Will you accept the formula to be the formula of net profit margin? Never, right? Never. But that is what I want to tell you. This is the kind of mistake institute has done in question number 40. If it is ambiguous question where there is a possibility of both the assumption, we would follow institute. However, when there is a mistake which is completely illogical, which is a mistake of concept, we cannot follow their solution, right? We have this expectation that institute will rectify their solution when they ask this question again, because institute has done this rectification in the past. Having said that, there is a risk. It may happen that we do their solution. See, first of all, there is a lot of effort to remember their solution. Can you remember that in a particular question I have assumed the formula of net profit margin to be sales divided by net profit? No, you cannot remember that. Correct? Even if you remember, it may happen that institute may change this solution to the rectified logical solution, and you may not get marks for the ambiguous solution that you do in the exam hall. Which is why what we prefer to do, things where institute is 100% incorrect, we follow the solution which is correct with the expectation that they will rectify. Although there is a risk, but still it is better than remembering the things otherwise. Because there is already a lot of things to remember at the entire final level, not just AFM. Even in AFM, we have a lot of ambiguous questions. So 14th question, our solution will not match with the suggested because that is logically incorrect actually. Fine. However, we will try to align our solution as much possible, as much with the institute as possible. Fine. Question number 14. Are we all set? Shall we start to do? Someone is saying, hello sir, good morning. Sorry to disturb in between. I'm new to your class. I just wanted to know if this is a demo lecture on YouTube or you are going to teach whole AFM. Manas or Manasvi, what's your name? Manasvi seems to be the full name. Manasvi, these are just demo lectures we are having right now. Maybe the first 4 or 5 lectures will be demo. It is a full English batch. We have similar English batch as well, which are in Hindi. So if you are more comfortable in Hindi language, then you should go for English batch. This one is full English. So if you understand English, this is the batch you can go for. Cool? Fine. Shall we proceed? Everyone, come on. AB Industries has equity capital of 12 lakhs, total debt of 8 lakhs. So if I observe the total equity plus total debt, it turns out to be 20 lakhs. Fine. Amount of sales of 30 lakhs. 2 mutually exclusive proposal are under consideration for next year. Please observe the language. Boss, AB Industry has equity capital of 12 lakhs. Has equity capital, it talks about the present, it has equity, it has debt, it has sales. All this is about the present year which has happened. Now for the next year, we have proposal. When I say mutually exclusive proposal, I mean to say one of the two has to be chosen. Do you understand the meaning of the word mutually exclusive? Mutually exclusive means one of the two has to be chosen. So there are two mutually exclusive proposals. The details are as under proposal 1, proposal 2. What are the details? Target asset to sales ratio. Sir, why do you use the word target? Because this is something we want to achieve in the next year. Look at the flow of the question. In the next year, I want to achieve a target. that my asset to sales ratio should be 0.65 under proposal 1. And under proposal 2, out of the two proposal I have to choose one, the asset to sales ratio should be 0.62. Can anyone in the class first of all tell me what is asset to sales ratio? This is one of the typical question which turned out to be in the attempt of November 20, which was one of the most difficult attempts in my understanding. Although the checking were easy, students secure good marks because of easy checking, but the paper was difficult. Asset to sales ratio. Altogether a new ratio for the first time that we got to see in the exam. Sir, some student thought it is asset turnover ratio because sales word replicate to the turnover, right? Looks similar to turnover. Sir, it is not asset turnover ratio. It is asset to sales ratio. So for a moment, people, let's come to out notes, and the place where we were writing down all the formulas, let's write down one more formula which looks similar to asset turnover ratio. Let's call it asset to sales ratio. Asset to sales ratio, which is nothing but my asset divided by sales. This is which particular question that we are facing this ratio in? This is question number 14, equity business valuation. So that one day before the exam or exam day morning, when you're revising all these ratios, you are seeing this formula and you're not able to recollect the applicability of it, you can go to this particular question and quickly understand that okay, this is what it was. Fine. Asset turnover ratios is still a generic ratio, no need to give a specific reference, but this one you need a reference. So asset divided by sales of the company should be 0.65. Net profit margin of the company should be 0.4. Debt to equity ratio of the company should be 2:3. Fine. Retention ratio of the company should be 75. Annual dividend of the company should be 0. I mean, no information given. Equity raised by the company is 0. No information given. I mean, they are not 0. The information has not been given. You are required to calculate sustainable growth rate for both the companies. Oh my God, what is this question? Process it, process it. Read the question again. I would give you 30 seconds. Read the entire question again, that what the hell is given and what the hell is being asked. Come on. Take your time, super fast. Everyone, it's a good question. Are you people reading it? What do you say? Sir, balance sheet capital has been given. Okay. Sales has been given. Asset to sales has been given. What do I do? Retention ratio is given. How much amount of dividend distributed not given but here given. Amount of equity raised not given here but given here. Sustainable growth rate we have to calculate. Yeah. Take a minute. It's fine. Take a minute. Think. Sir, can I now proceed? Sir, I have to calculate sustainable growth rate. With this question, let me try to teach you how should we approach an in-question. Suppose this is an in-question we face in the exam. So we are now worried that how do you calculate sustainable growth rate? So I know it is retention ratio multiplied by ROE. Do we have the retention ratio? Yes, sir. Retention ratio is directly given as 75%. Life is sorted, which means I am now worried about ROE. With the given information, can ROE be calculated is the matter of doubt. Sir, ROE, what is the formula of ROE now? So next question become what is the formula of ROE? Right, that is how one should think in the exam. Sir, ROE is PAT. Since there is no preference share, it is PAT divided by EAES, PAT, or I can say EAES, divided by equity shareholder fund. Equity shareholder fund has been given as 12 lakhs. So that is fine, sir. What about PAT? What about PAT? How do I find PAT? Sir, if you do sales multiplied by net profit margin, will it be able to give you PAT? Listen to me. Sales multiplied by net profit margin will give you PAT. Divided by the equity share capital of 12 lakhs give me ROE. Yes. But do you people agree? This is the data of past that we have considered. Our logic is correct. But this logic we have to apply not on the past data, but on the future data where these ratios will prevail. Where my sales or asset will change according to this ratio. Where my debt equity ratio will change according to this ratio. So I will have to follow the same logic of ROE, just that the number of PAT and the number of equity shareholders should be according to this. Fine. Sir, now what is the linkage? Let me try to teach you. If I take sales as my base, then can I assume if 30 lakhs of sales is my base, then asset to sales ratio is 0.65, then accordingly I will get the amount of my asset. Yes, this question is typical in nature because it will have some assumption. So let me first of all try to explain it to you on Calci, so that so that the writing part will later on become easy. If I have sales as 30 lakhs, if I asset the sales ratio to 0.65, use your calcs and tell me how much is the amount of asset. So asset to sales ratio is 0.65, where I know the sales to be 30 lakhs. How much is my asset? 30 multiplied by 0.65 give me the assets to be 19.5 lakhs. Sir, there is a point of ambiguity. Ambiguity, or maybe I can say point of thought. It is not ambiguity. At present, the equity is 12, debt is 8. The total of which is turning out to be 20, but I want to make the total to be 19.5. And that too also broken down into the ratio of 2:3. So, sir, if my total asset in the balance sheet, imagine total asset is 19.5, then the total of liability side is also 19.5 to be broken down into equity and debt. If the ratio is to be 2:3, debt will be 2 by 5 of it, equity will be 3 by 5 of it. So based on this logic, how much the amount of equity will be? 19.5 multiplied by 3 divided by 5 give me 11.7 as the amount of equity. 11.7 is the amount of equity. We started with sales of 30 lakhs into net profit margin of 4%. 30 lakhs into 4% is how much? 30 into 4% is 1.2. So overall, finally, my PAT is 1.2 and my equity component is 11.7. That is how the ROE to be calculated. 1.2 divided by 11.7 as 10.26% on a rounded off basis as my ROE, and ROE multiplied by 75% of retention ratio give me 7.6970 as the sustainable growth rate. How much out of 10 are you people comfortable with what we have done in this question so far? Come on, super fast, tell me. People in the class. Super fast, please tell me. Come on, everyone. Waiting for your responses. Clear? Yes. One possibility of doubt that you may have. I'm automatically trying to answer the doubt, create and answer the doubt which you might have. Someone might think, sir, rather than you have started with sales as the base, why don't you consider equity as the base and do everything? For example, if equity is 12 lakhs, using the debt ratio of 2 is to 3, debt should be 8. For example, debt by equity should be 2 by 3, 2 divided by 3. If equity is 12, debt should be 8. So accordingly, my total capital should be 20. And if my total capital should be 20, my total asset should also be 20. And since asset to sales ratio is 0.65, so if assets are 20, accordingly sales, if I calculate, it should be 20 divided by 0.65. So sales should be 30.76 lakhs rather than 30 lakhs, of which 4% should be net profit margin. So 30.76 multiplied by 4% margin is 1.2304. Agreed. This is also you can do. If you do, sir, 1.2304 is your PAT finally. And PAT divided by equity of how much? PAT divided by equity of 10 lakhs. Sorry, 12 lakhs give you PAT divided by equity of 12 lakhs give you how much as your ROE? Please calculate. Sir, 1.2304 divided by 12 give me 10.25% ROE, which if you observe is more or less same only. The ROE that we calculated first. Taking sales as my base, we calculated ROE, which gave the answer of 10.26. Then we took equity as the base and then again calculated ROE, which give you the same answer. Due to rounding off, there is this minor difference, but otherwise answer will be same. It is obviously logical. People, do you agree? You assume one particular number in the financial statements and change all other number according to the ratio. So ultimately number will change proportionately and the final answer of ROE will turn out to be same only. People, are you understanding what I'm saying? I have to, how should I explain? So basically what is happening is, sir, this is my income statement which is sales, which has profit. This is my balance sheet which has assets and which has liability. Perfect. ROE is linking profit with the equity. ROE is linking profit with the equity. I'm explaining it to you, which is something I have never explained it to any other batch. Listen to me. Sales is linked to asset in the form of ratio. Asset is equal to liability. Liability is linked to equity and debt in the form of debt equity ratio. And ROE is a ratio of profit and equity. Sales is linked to profit in the form of net profit margin. Do you agree? All the ratios, all the numbers that you see in the screen are linked to each other through different ratio. If you take sales as the base, all the numbers that you look at will change proportionately till profit. If you take equity as the base, all the numbers that you see on this screen will change proportionately based on those ratios. So ultimately you take any number as the base, but all the numbers will change proportionately such that the profit divided by equity ultimately give you the same answer of 10.26 only. This particular point, could I explain? Everyone in the class, please tell me. Whether you take equity as the base or sales as the base, your answer has to be same of ROE and your answer has to be same for sustainable growth rate. Requesting your responses on this particular thing, people in the class, could I give to you the clarity needed? Come on. Slightly gradually the level of the class will increase and has increased actually. Please tell me. Please tell me. So, sir, one of the numbers you have to assume of the previous year that, okay, let me take this one as the base. It will continue to the next year and all others number will change accordingly. That is the assumption or that is the flow of the question. One number you will have to use of the previous year. All other number you will have to change. Please tell me, could I explain yes or no? Requesting your responses. I have got an answer only from Archana so far. Others, it's not necessarily you have to always say yes. We have a complete frank environment in our class. If you feel no, you have rights to say no. I will explain it once more, but you have to speak. You have to speak up. Priyanka, yes. So I think there's a lag. You people are responding late, which means you're watching my video late. So kindly eliminate that lag. Come to the latest point, Priyanka and everyone else in the class. Shruti, Archana have responded. So meaning to say, in this case, we can assume any of the thing. Yes, that is why we have to assume sales to be the start point. Why, sir? At least to align our solution. At least to align our solution with the institute. To align our solution with the institute, we will have to do it. Because in the first proposal, institute started with the sales. Therefore, we will also have to start with the sales. Even if you start with equity debt, your answer will match. This is why I'm calling this question to be a typical question. Because even if it is logical, even if people in the class, it is logical, it has a remembrance element, calling it typical. Harshita, I will re-explain what I was saying. Harshita, do you agree sales has been given? Net profit margin has been given. So if I imagine my income statement, sales and net profit are linked. Similarly, if I imagine my balance sheet, the relationship between equity and debt is given, the total of which become total capital, which is linked to the total assets of the company. And assets of the company are also linked to sales. So asset sales ratio has been given, asset linked to sales. Net profit margin has been given, net profit is linked to sales. Sir, ROE has been given, so net profit is linked to equity. Debt equity ratio is given, so both of them are linked to total capital, and total capital is equal to the total assets already given. This way, do you realize that all the numbers are linked to each other in the form of ratio? Right? Ratio, fixed ratio has been given that okay, sales to asset rate, asset to sales will be 0.65, net profit margin will be 4%, so on. In this question, I have been given the amount of sales, I have been given the amount of equity. If I start with sales and apply the ratios given in the question, I will get the amount of net profit, I will get the amount of asset, then I will get the amount of total capital, then debt, then equity, and then calculate equity divided by profit as my ROE. Rather than starting with sales, if I start with equity, accordingly I will get the amount of debt, the amount of total capital, accordingly the amount of assets, then using asset the amount of sales, and on that sales the amount of net profit, and ultimately equity divided by net profit will be my ROE. My point is, you take any number as the base, either equity or sales, but all other numbers are calculated using the ratios given in the question, which means, do you agree? Accordingly, proportionately, all others numbers will be. If you start with equity, based on the ratio, based on the proportions, all other number that you see on the screen will be. And if you start with sales, according to the sales, in that proportion, all other numbers will be. So if you calculate ROE, which is net profit divided by equity, that will turn out to be the same answer, whether you take equity as base or you take sales as base, because ultimately what you are doing is net profit divided by equity. And both the numbers are calculated proportionately using different ratios. Could I explain it now, Harshita, to you and everyone else? Which is why I'm saying both of it will give you the answer, but you have to start with sales because we want to match our answer with the institute so that step marks can be secured. Everyone, how much out of 10 are you people now clear? Please tell me. So 7.7 of sustainable growth rate we calculated because we started with sales. Now another point of typicalness. Sir, in proposal 2, can we start with sales? The answer is no. Why? Because institute has given particularly that in the proposal 2, people, you will raise, everyone in the class listen to me. In proposal 2, you will raise 1 of equity additionally. So your equity will become 13. It has given to you an absolute number which has to be become the base. See, in proposal 1, any absolute amount of next year is not given. Only the ratios and percentages have been given. Any absolute amount has been given in proposal 1? No. So we had to assume any of these amounts to continue the next year and accordingly calculate other numbers. But in proposal 2, we have specifically been given that the next year equity is going to be 12 plus 1, 13. So we should make that 13 as base. Apply these ratios and calculate all other numbers. For example, let us try to do it. This is my income statement, this is my balance sheet. Let me make the question easy for you. In fact, you'll be happy to see. Okay, let's do it once. Let's do it once. Sir, this is my income statement, this is my balance sheet. Sir, my revised equity is 12 plus 1, 13. If the debt to equity ratio is 1 is to 4, 4 is to 1, can you please tell me how much the amount of debt will be? People in the class waiting for your responses, you will have to answer this question. Come on. Equity is 13. Equity is 13. If debt to equity ratio is 4 is to 1, how much is the amount of debt? Sir, 13 into 4, give me 52 has to be my debt in that proportion if I think. Which means my total asset should be 52 plus 13, which is 65. Total capital and total asset should be 65. Fine, sir. If the asset to sales ratio is 0.62, if asset divided by sales is 0.62, if I have my assets to be 65, how much my sales is? Sir, 65 divided by 0.62, sales will be 104.83, sales will be 104.83 of sales. In fact, 84 on a rounded off basis, sales, of which the net profit margin has to be 5%, right? So 104.84 multiplied by 5% give me 5.242 as my net profit. Are you people realizing that we have taken equity as the base and calculated all other number using the ratios given and 5.24 to become net profit? Can you tell me with this net profit and with this equity how much is the amount of ROE? 5.242 divided by 13 give me 40.32% as my ROE. Waiting for your responses. 40.32% as your ROE. Are you all able to connect to ROE? Because for equity, for sustainable growth rate, I need ROE and I need the retention rate. Waiting for your responses. 40.32 is my ROE. Is it anywhere? 40.32 is my ROE. Yes. Sir, now I need the retention ratio, which is people in the class really simple. 4 point, how much was my profit? 5.242. 5.242 was my net profit if you realize on a sale. Of that profit, if I distribute a dividend of 0.3, then rest is retained. 5.242 minus 0.3 of profit give me 4.942 as my retained earning. This is in lakhs, everything is in lakhs. So how much is the retention ratio? 4.942 divided by 5.242 giving me 94.28% as my retention ratio. 94.28% as my retention ratio, and retention ratio multiplied by ROE give me growth rate. So 94.28 multiplied by 40.32% is equal to 38.01% as the 38.01% as the sustainable growth rate. Boss. Presentation we will take care. Please tell me first of all, are you people conceptually clear with this question? Requesting your responses. Are you people conceptually clear with this question? Requesting your responses. Question was really simple. All we had to do is to calculate ROE and retention ratio to calculate sustainable growth rate. Perfect. Point was, for calculation of ROE, you had to use different parameters of financial statements. I had to take one of these numbers as base and calculate all other values using these ratios. Yes. In the first part, sales is the base because institute has taken it. In the second part, equity capital is the base because a specific absolute amount of equity has been given. So let me write it down. Equity capital is the base because equity capital of next year has been specifically given. Yes, perfect. Do you people feel that rather than understanding a question in terms of text, if you understand it in terms of charts, tables, timelines, financial statements like balance sheet, income statement, don't you think the solution become really easy for us to understand at least? Based on our understanding, then we can proceed ahead to present it. But I think I just want to know, to me it looks easy. Do you people have the similar mindset that imagination makes the thing easy? Is it doing to you people? Question number 14, please tell me. This is one of the very unique approach that we follow in the class. What do you all say? Yes. So the point is, sir, if you really want to, if you really want me to present it for you, then I can in terms of charts. Whatever we have just done, whatever we have just done, if you realize what we have done in the first proposal, obviously, I hope you realize this is not for the examiner. This is only and only for us. Sir, in proposal 1, we start with sales is my start point. And according to sales, I have calculated all other numbers, right? In the second case, revised equity is the point. 12 plus 1, 13, and all other numbers are calculated according to it, right? I have tried to present the entire thing of question number 4, question number 14, sorry, of page number, which page is this? Of page number 10 in the notebook, right? Sir, what is the plan now? Let me explain. How many of you feel like drawing it in the class? I mean, how many of you feel like drawing it in your notebook? This particular thing is not needed, is subjective. I found it to be really useful and easy to explain. I did it. If you feel a need for your ease to understand it, you can draw it. Do you feel drawing it? So we have a solution. I can share these annotated notes on the Google Drive, okay? Where so maybe this particular graph, I can share it on the Telegram channel today. You will receive the link of Google Drive and the software and everything through an email. Once you have email received, which will have the Google Drive link, that is where I will upload it. Yes, but let me strictly make it clear to every single student. These things are bonus. If you draw it, it will help you. It will evolve you, it will make your revision easy, it will make the concept clarity, it will give you the conceptual clarity. However, this you may not draw is fine, your choice. It may not give you an edge. But not writing these solutions in the notebook, please take refund. Don't come to the class. There is no point of studying in that manner. I don't mind you taking the refund, but I want those who study with sincerity. Yes. Question number 14 gets done with this clarity which we have discussed in the class. Now about the presentation of 14th question. How many of you feel that, sir, we will be able to write down this question, the examiner presentation at home? Will you see on Calci we have done it, but due to lack of time we could not complete it. Will you be able to write down the presentation of this question in your notebook at your own, people? What do you say? Yes, no, quick. Before we call it a day, answer this question. I will, 1 second. This is surprising. Yes. So try to do it. If you're not able to do it, let me know. I will do it in the class tomorrow with you. If you're able to do it, it will save some time. So what happens, I hope you're able to understand my approach. We are now comfortable with each other. Sir, I could have saved time by not drawing this, or I could have directly make you people write down the solution. But what I feel is that writing you can do, but this thing you cannot do. For this understanding, you need my help. Only I can guide you for that. Correct? So things which I can do is what we focus on in the class, like drawing this particular thing on the timeline, financial statement, graph, etc. But writing you can do, which if you do will end up saving time, is the point. Else, I know that I have to complete the classes within 180 hours, which is good enough time, which is not a lesser time, is there in the market. This is what happens in the market. But what they don't do in the market is this particular thing, which I feel has a higher priority than simply writing the solution in the notebook. If you are aligned to me, we will continue this pattern. What do you want? Are you aligned to me with this pattern or not really? What's happening? Come on, come on, come on. Your response will decide the approach ahead. Aligned to me? Yes, right? Fine, fine, fine. Mansam, yaar, overall, do you know what is the meaning of the word yaar? It's a Hindi word, yaar. Means friend. We say it casually. Just like you say bro, right? Bro, what's happening? We say yaar, what's happening? So yaar is the word. So what I feel, yaar, is we should have an edge. We should have an edge. And discussions like this will surely give you an edge. The confidence that you need to have in the exam hall does not come from my external motivation, a motivational speech that you see on YouTube one day before the exam. No. The preparation, the intensity, the clarity of concept, all those efforts of this batch will give you that confidence. This is what I want with you to happen. That confidence should be from within. It is self-built rather than externally acquired fake. Yes. So I think that was all for the day. I hope the lecture has made sense. I hope you people are liking the lectures, right? Let's meet back again. I'll ask the team to share the links, Google Drive links and everything with you. So next lecture onwards, it may be the application or maybe I'll give you that update on the group. Fine, people? So that was all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for watching it up. I hope the lecture was good. You people liked it, enjoyed it. Let's meet back again in the next lecture. Yes? Bye. See you all. Take care everyone. Bye Archana. Bye Shruti. Bye Priyanka. Bye Harshata. Take care guys. Thank you so much. Everyone else watching of this lecture, thank you so much. Let's meet back again. Bye bye.